Got off my desk, take a quick look at the disclosures. I figured I would do a quick midday call just to follow up on where we are as per this morning. It is 9/11. Hope everyone is doing okay today and feeling, I don't know what the word is, but I know for me, I feel a little down and somber and reflective, but you could take positives out of there as well. So here we are in the T3 Live office. It's been such a crazy week. I haven't even shaved since Monday Fox Business, and that's how it grows in. So it's kind of um, whatever. Little gray, getting old. I'm 47. My birthday is actually the 21st, so in time another one will happen. My dad's actually is this Sunday, the 75th. But anyway, here we are. So let's go to the videotape, like we say it. So first of all, look at the S&P cash. Okay, looks like it's about to make a move here. Okay, a lot of things to see here. Sometimes I look at a chart and I could think of like five, six, seven different lessons or tools and tactics that I teach that could have helped you maneuver this active sequence. What I call an active sequence is when a new direction kind of takes hold and stays what I call special or what I call fine. And let me just make sure I'm talking, yes. And it continues, and you could stay with certain names and rotate through them, etc. So here is when I think that this is active sequence started. Remember, I called it the red dog reversal right here because this is where we didn't know whether or not it was going to break below or get reclaimed, and then you had that 3-day move up, which showed some power, showed some people or an appetite for risk. Then it was a little too far, too fast, came back in, held this, 2891 area, whatever we called it, had a gap, and lo and behold, here we are. Okay, so I don't want to waste too much time on the past. This high here was what, 2989. We're now above that. What does this look like to you? It looks like a flag, right? A bull flag. We've seen thousands of bull flags. That's a continuation to a long pattern. We were trying to figure out if we would have that this week, and one way to figure that out was whether or not that 2960 area held. And this 2960 where I got it from was right here. So you take an even closer look, okay, because might as well micro dissect this. So this was the 2940 that we gapped above. Then a quick move up here, so to 2989 from here. That's a huge move, so it had to retrace a little bit, right? Doesn't that make sense? Retrace a little bit. Yesterday went below 2960 and went to 2957, and then reclaimed 2960. So that could have been your re-entry if you thought it was going to fall apart. It didn't. And then or when it reclaimed 2969, which is another spot, which was right here. And now look. So here we are making highs. We're at 2991. Here's your all-time high. This is, part of the language of my chart that I posted. And there we are. So this is that micro section that is not giving any bearish signals here. On TV, they're talking about the vicious sector rotation and the crazy declines, and a lot of that started already weeks ago, and now they're in bouncy stages. So before we get into it, let's just do the Qs. The Qs also, look at that, right back to 192.33 area. This went a little bit into the gap and came back up. So this was the point of reference, which I put this morning. And now if it gets above this spot, 195.55. So what did I say on here? Tech keeps getting hit with antitrust probes. The news today is Amazon. We'll see how it responds. Apple is post-event. We'll see how it responds. We can use 188.91 as key support. So that was your point of reference from yesterday. And the two subjects this morning was how would Amazon deal with the new antitrust rules or headline, and it was down 18 this morning. So in private, you guys knew I was long from yesterday, and I've been managing this position for weeks, and actually, kind of traded around it, but I was long overnight. And I woke up this morning, I'm like, Amazon is down $18. I'm in 3 or 4 other longs. It's the only one down. What a pain in the what. But then I'm like, you know what? Last week, Google had the same news, and now it's $34 higher. Facebook had the same news, it's higher. So maybe now that this news is finally out, and if it goes green, it'll be healthy for the stock. So that's why I didn't, freak out. And I tried to tell you guys on Twitter and YouTube not to freak out when it was down $18. And P.S. it held yesterday's low of 1805. And now, look at Amazon. Amazon looks pretty good. Held above 1805. It took out 1825. It's green. It could probably work its way back up towards 1842 or 1850 now. So this was my thought process. All I have is a thought process, and then I wait for the market to confirm it. The market did a good job absorbing the news in Amazon. Now that that news is out and it didn't fall apart, maybe people say, hey, now that it's out, I'm not worried about overnight being down 20 or 50 or 100 points because of antitrust, because it didn't affect it. So that's why I'm still in Amazon, and we'll see if it could work its way back up towards this spot. Google obviously has been better to be in. I haven't been focusing on Google as much, but Google cleared this 1210. Look at that. Okay, this gap held. So with all of the 50 lawyers looking at them, the antitrust, the fines on YouTube, PS, you gapped up, you held it, went sideways, and now it's clearing this level and it's on its way up to really this 1228, which was the low here, or maybe even more. So that's why sometimes you have to really look at the market action of what the individual name is doing versus the headlines and listening all day long TV, bantering back and forth about it. And this actually is pretty damn impressive. I'm sorry that I'm not in it, but I'm in 4 or 5 things which I'll get into, and you don't have to be in everything to make money. And for Google right now, this is pretty cool, especially for those in it. Facebook also woke up this morning. I'm like, Facebook keeps getting hit with probes and antitrust news. It's falling, but it's not falling apart. But it's hard to make money. We can't get too bearish if we hold 184.55, which is right there, yesterday's low, and then said it would get better if it could clear 188.10, and it's getting better as it cleared it, and it still has room here. So granted, it's not leading, but I think people are not thawing out to it. But the shorts aren't winning with all that news, and maybe it plays catch up once a day or so goes by without the big cap tech bashing. So anyway, I'm not in Facebook, but that's something, if it continues, I would be in. I am still in Amazon. I am in Apple. Apple, really nice. Why are we in Apple? Well, Apple, remember yesterday I said they usually like to sell the event, and when they couldn't sell the event, chances are it's stronger. So at the end of the day, I got long. The VTF saw it. I tweeted to you guys what I was in, and I'm still in it. And I did trim some, but I'm holding some. This was your next spot, 221.37, and it's right here. Look at that. I even posted the chart on the public Twitter sphere besides the private, and there you are, right into this. So would I be buying this spot? Probably not. I actually bought a little bit as it went through 220. It was a quick little 50 center on top of what we were in, just as for cash flow. But this is 221.37, and here's 229. And hey, it's looking pretty damn good. Above the moving averages. Last time we had it for a swing trade was right around here when it held at 207, held it for a few days. On this loose and wide day, I got out of the way because I was like, you know what? I don't need to hold this through the event because sometimes they sell it and I can get better prices. Well, they couldn't sell it, so I bought it yesterday. I'm still in it, and this is one spot, and then that'll be another spot. Twitter is a little lethargic today. They did shake the tree a little bit, so this was a really nice trade for us from here into this spot. On this day, I got out of it. Yesterday, I bought some back. Today, I sold a little strength, and now I'm still sitting in it. But you got to be a little careful because if it builds a little bit of a bear flag there and doesn't pop above 43.95 soon, it could continue to the downside. So at this point, you could almost draw this line like this. As long as it stays above this 42.51, I will now stay in it. If it hopefully gets above this and gets a little bit better, it'll repair a little bit, but you want to see a little bit better action than that. The cloud names, battered and bruised, lots of ways to sell, lots of ways to short it weeks ago. Yesterday or 2 days ago, they finally had that really acceleration lower that helped create some of the tradable bounce yesterday, today, but still not the easiest things to do. Twilio was my focus yesterday for a bounce, and everyone's like, "Oh, Red Dog, how did this happen? How could such a leader get broken so quick?" Well, things happen fast. So if you look at Twilio, the way it happened, right there, this accelerated trend got broken. So that was your first shot across the bow to get out. Then it stayed below the 821 day, which is one of my tactics. If you're below the moving averages, you're not long, maybe you're short. And then it built a bear flag, which is a pattern that triggered lower, and then boom. Yesterday, you had a little Red Dog reversal around 108.60, and now we'll see what happens here. It's building a lower consolidation, so it's either going to build a lower consolidation and bounce more, or build another bear flag or consolidation like this that it'll continue down. At this point, you don't know. You're just taking trades back and forth. Same thing with TTD. Look at that. I drew this little thing this morning. Same thing. Here's where it broke. This probably was your first way to get out of the way, and then now it's building what could be a bear flag. Could be. And then all of a sudden it breaks the 200-day and Tech's not going to like that. But for now, there was some small things to do tactically based around this low. Yesterday it was below 208 and a quarter, went to what, 206, and it came back above it, and then gave you a nice push to 217. So there was a good up down 2 to up 3 trade there, which a lot of traders can make good money on. And everyone emphasizes to say how big they are, and that doesn't matter. It's only a day, but you know what? You make $5 on 500 shares or 1,000 shares of $3 trading around. It's money, and if you net that over time, puts together a big month, and that's how you make money over a career. But anyway, now it's hard to tell. One more coup is always good to know what's happening, and yesterday you did get a little red dog reversal around this pivot. This was 132.92. And now it's trying to hold here. So the longer it stays below this spot, I guess it's more careful you have to be. But if it repairs a little bit, maybe it's fine. But I would just continue. I would continue to take trades in the cloud software names, and that's what's been working. And Roku, the same thing. Roku, it's been a long for months. We had a few cute shorts, and finally gave you the real signal to be short. But that was on Monday for your follow through Tuesday, and then today was a little bit of back and forth. So anyway, Roku, just held this 139. There was a bunch of things to do. I know when it went green the second time I bought it, made a little bit of money. Then I turned around, it was up 4. And then I looked, 7 minutes later, it's only up 2. So either you're buying it versus this spot, or you're just trading around it using more of a 3 and 5 minute chart. But overall, see now if this holds. But this was your red dog reversal sell. This was your outside day. This is the first time it closed below a prior low with authority here. This day, it made us some money, but it wasn't the same thing as this day, where it closed on the dead lows on volume and then boom. So now we'll see. Some guys are trading shop today. First day that it actually gave you a little bit more of a bounce than other days. Remember this? Okay, this was when the market had 3 up days, it had 3 down days. First time, that was our first clue to be careful. And then I remember it got upgraded on this day, was sold into this resistance area versus bought versus reclaiming it, and then it broke, and then downside follow through. Now today we'll see what kind of bounce happens. It's still in the lower end of the range. We'll see if some type of bear flag builds for more downside, or if it gets a little bit better. At this point, it was just a trade in the life. TLTs, not in love with, but this was when you remember we sold the 148 halves on that, I think it was Thursday, the calls, and we were so nervous, but we made money collecting the premium. That was here. And then you did retest, and then it broke below the 8-day, broke below the 21-day. Now here you are. I did get long a little bit when it reclaimed 140.66, and now we'll see if it tries to bounce or heads lower to fill this gap. But the 50 days right here, and just it's hard to tell. I wouldn't be pressing it short here, but it doesn't mean that you can have some kind of crazy boisterous bounce. So for me, I bought at 140.66. My stop is the low, which will be 140.39. So I'm risking, 25 cents, and already in the money a little bit. Not a whole lot. And so in conclusion, that's where we're at. I hope you're doing well. I hope, today you're reflecting 18 years ago about what happened. Everyone was in different spots. I was actually on Fifth Avenue, still, with Sperling Enterprises, not T3 yet. We merged with Nexus to make T3, and we were on Fifth Avenue. And I remember being in my office. It was like 8 o'clock. I was long a little bit. I think we were having some kind of oversold bounce, and all of a sudden the futures start tanking. I was like, what's going on? I get out of my shares, and then all of a sudden I look on TV and I see Mark Haynes, and this was before, I used to be on TV with Mark Haynes for like 2 years in 2008 and 9, and he's like trying to say what's looking up, what's going on? It looks like a plane. And then I'm like, hey guys, let's go downstairs and look and see, because we could see right downtown to the towers. And then as I'm looking with like 5 traders, all of a sudden, whoosh, and then the flame, you could feel the flame, and all of a sudden, like, oh my god. And then ran upstairs, and they're talking about it on TV, and our office was right next to the the Empire State Building, and then the Pentagon got hit, and then this got hit, and then we really thought we were under attack. It was really scary. And then I just quickly called my dad, and I'm like, I'm okay. This is craziness. I'll call you later. And then we all left, and then I went to my apartment on 34th and 2nd, where all my friends were working in the city. I had nowhere to go. They all came. We were on the balcony and watched the tower fall. And then the city was crazy, trucks everywhere, people with signs looking, friend of mine who lit a candle at my bar mitzvah, his name was Josh Vitale. He passed away in the towers. My friend Timur Khan, who went to Albany with me, who was in ZBT, I was in Sikmanu, he passed away. Like craziness, stories everywhere. So I know it's 18 years removed and everything feels sometimes out of sight, out of mind, but it's far from it for those who are really affected. And there are still people who are actually the first responders who have crazy illnesses because they were there and they were working on it. And, so we got to make sure that those funds are funded so they can get doctor's bills and help because they were there to help. So we got to help them. Anyway, yeah, if you've been watching this the whole time, thanks. I appreciate you and hopefully it helps. I will be back at the recap. Bye-bye.